Number 1 was an all-out attack.
They brawl in the center of the ring.
Number 2 brought out the heavy artillery.
For the second year in a row, they fought the fight of the year.
Get the battle plans and strategies for what's sure to be World War III. Evander Holyfield.
Holyfield showing his warrior's heart.
Riddick Bowe.
Bowe stuns him with an uppercut.
Join us as we go behind enemy lines for the biggest 3 since Frazier Ali. The countdown to Bowe Holyfield 3. Premiere Sunday, October 22nd on HBO.
Hey, these guys want to fight.
The following is a special presentation of HBO Sports.
Every so often, a rivalry comes along that is a throwback to boxing's storied past.
You've seen the best of both men. A right hand by Holyfield, and another. Round 10 continues after the bell. And a left hand for Holyfield. And they swing and swing after the bell. And look at this. Hey, these guys want to fight.
After a 2-year absence, the renewal of boxing's fall classic, Bowe Holyfield, the sport's greatest modern-day rivalry. Hello, I'm Jim Lampley. On the evening of November 4th at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, former undisputed world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield gets together with former undisputed world heavyweight champion Riddick Bowe for the third renewal of what has been indisputably the heavyweight boxing rivalry of the 90s. I'll be there at ringside with pleasure to call that fight for you, in company, of course, with HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. And Larry, they've already fought 2 spectacular 12-round battles against each other. What's the meaning of this third Bowe Holyfield fight?
You don't need another meeting, Jim. First and foremost, they're 2 outstanding fighters who have fought 2 spectacular, dramatic fights. Why wouldn't you want to see a third one? Second and foremost, or second and foremost, there are the stakes. Riddick Bowe is widely regarded as the best heavyweight out there. He's in his prime. Is he going to do the right thing by himself against a fighter who is past his prime? That's the context of what should be a terrific fight, no matter what the stakes are.
And indeed, history plays into those stakes. When Bowe beat Holyfield in November of 1992, he won the linear heavyweight championship of the world. Holyfield took it back a year later. Holyfield lost it to Michael Moore, and then the other gentleman who called the fight with us took it from Moore in November of 1994, and that's heavyweight champ George Foreman. George, the public often sees in the heavyweight division good fighters protecting themselves by going into the ring against lesser opposition. These 2 men, I suppose, deserve extra credit for choosing to fight each other a third time.
Yeah, it is rare that you'll find 2 boxers, especially in one division, who doesn't want to be satisfied with just being called champion, but I fought the best out there. You got a rare bird, 2 rare birds, in Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe. I don't understand where they get the energy, but they're going to prove a point with me. The winner of this fight is definitely the best fighter out there.
Should be great excitement. On the night when he first beat Holyfield, November of 1992, Riddick Bowe won all 3 existing World Heavyweight Championship belts. Now he has a 4th belt, the least regarded of the heavyweight titles that are presently on the market, and he's looking for something bigger and better to reestablish himself in the sport. So where does Riddick Bowe go in Fight 3 with Evander Holyfield? November 13, 1992. On that one night, Riddick Bowe achieved greatness and lived his dream. Combining refined skill with discipline and focus, he made his potential appear unlimited.
Bowe stuns him with an uppercut, and just like that, the champion struggles to stay on his feet. Holyfield in serious trouble now.
I hit him with some tremendous shots, and this guy would just come right back. And when I got him down, I guess it finally, for me, made me realize that I was the better man.
New heavyweight embraced the trappings of the heavyweight championship. Long hours in the gym giving way to coast-to-coast exposure and a world tour that included stops in Africa and at the Vatican. In his first two defenses, he was overwhelming against third-rate opponents.
And down goes Stokes into the ropes.
I'm a bad man.
A spectacular performance by Riddick Bowe.
As Bowe plowed through easy setup fights, questions arose about his commitment. The strategy backfired when an overconfident, out-of-shape Bowe became himself the biggest setup in the rematch with ex-champion Holyfield.
Holyfield gunning for a stoppage here. It would shock the world.
I didn't train as long. I guess my head got a little too big. I didn't think that he could muster the same type of determination. I didn't think that Evander would be the same, but he fooled me.
Losing his championship sent Bowe into a listless freefall. Personally, he was devastated.
When I did lose to Evander, I had a terrible Christmas. I don't want to feel like that no more, especially at Christmas, you know. I want to be happy, not only for myself, but, you know, for my kids and whatnot. And I think as quiet as it kept, they kind of felt, you know, that Daddy wasn't, you know, all that happy. So I want to be happy from now on.
For a while, the millionaire Bowe seemed happiest away from the ring. Proud father of 5 showed passion in building his new family. But that, along with lackluster performances against unthreatening opponents, ignited more questions about his lost commitment. The focus and fire seemed faded.
He weighed in at an even 247 pounds.
Where did all of Bowe's skill and polish and ring intelligence go, Gil?
Maybe he went with that good living.
A rusty, rough-hewn effort, but Riddick Bowe gets his KO.
When I was in the gym, I didn't pay as much attention to the people who were telling me, you know, what to do, like I should have. And perhaps that was the difference. So why was I going to be in the gym and kill myself in the gym and knowing that I'm fighting nobody?
This past summer's showdown with former amateur nemesis Jorge Gonzalez proved to be the somebody and the wake-up call Bowe needed.
Another terrific right-hand shot for Riddick Bowe. And I got to tell you, Larry, I wasn't sure we'd ever see him look this good again.
He probably was at his very best when he fought Gonzalez.
When the masses think that he might not be able to do it, it challenges him to rise to his best. Whoever the critics are, I hope they continue with their criticism. It only makes Riddick Bowe better.
Now Bowe seems more driven and dedicated than at any time since he grabbed the belts from Holyfield. The question remains, will he seize this opportunity and continue to assert himself?
I have to redeem myself. Evander Holyfield presents me with an opportunity to show the world that Riddick Bowe is the best heavyweight out there. And if I can beat Evander Holyfield in the third fight, then I'm at peace with myself.
There's a tremendous amount at stake here for Riddick Bowe, and in one victory, he can put a lid on all the criticism, redeem himself for having lost to Holyfield, and establish himself as the greatest heavyweight in the world.
Holyfield was the fighter that brought the very best out of Riddick Bowe. It was the fight that made him champion of the world. It was also the fighter that took the championship away from him. It's burning inside of him. He's got to redeem himself.
And the most important thing for me about this fight is that I want to come out victorious. I want to show the people that Riddick Bowe can once capture what he had way back when, a couple of years ago.
For 2 years now, the former heavyweight champion has been haunted by his razor-thin loss to Holyfield, his only loss. He's proven he can be the best, and he's seen how easy it was for him to fall back from that peak. So is he really back? The answer comes November 4. There's no beating Evander Holyfield unless Bowe is once again at his best.
George Foreman, when Bowe beat Holyfield in their first fight in November of '92, a lot of us thought that he had risen to a very high level, both technically and as a puncher. But since then, he's looked bad a couple times. You've always seen some weaknesses in his game. Is there plenty still there for Evander Holyfield to exploit and take advantage of in the ring?
Well, all of the above. Riddick Bowe is as good as he ever was, and as a matter of fact, he's getting a little better. But Evander Holyfield is a thinking man boxer. There's a lot he can exploit because he not only fights with his physical strength, but he has his mind. He thinks boxing. But at the same time, Riddick Bowe is better ever, now than ever.
All right. Well, certainly Evander showed in their second meeting at Caesar's Palace in November of '93 that he had learned some lessons from the loss in the first fight. And then Later, he underwent a dramatic personal experience, being diagnosed with a heart condition, Larry, retiring from boxing, getting another diagnosis, coming back to the sport. A lot of people would ask, why is Evander Holyfield still fighting?
Because he's a fighter. It's as simple as that. He's a warrior. It's what he does. He loves the stage. He loves the competition. And the money isn't bad either. Evander Holyfield has the kind of ability in terms of his willingness to compete that is extremely rare any place, in or out of sport. He loves to compete, to find out what he has, and he has to play it out until the very end. He himself has said about this fight that he thinks it's going to end with a knockout. On paper, it doesn't particularly figure that way, but it says something about the effort he's willing to put into this one once again.
You used the word warrior, and certainly it has never applied to any fighter more graphically than it applies to Evander Holyfield. Here now again, another fabulous stage for him to show off his spectacular inner will. In 11 years as a professional, Evander Holyfield has developed an image as the ultimate modern-day warrior. He defines himself with sheer guts and will to win. He's a master of making more of himself than anyone else gives him credit for. Evander Holyfield is a man about whom you say he has the heart of a lion.
When they say heart of lion, they talk about determination. They talk about the will to win, discipline, crafty, a man that fear nothing. And that's what you look at when you see a lion, the king of the jungle. When you say, this man here is the king of the ring.
Holyfield became the king of the ring in 1990, knocking out Buster Douglas. He lost the title to Riddick Bowe, then won it back. Then in a 1994 defense against Michael Moorer, the unthinkable happened.
It was clear, first of all, that something was wrong in the fight because Holyfield hardly threw any punches. And after the fight, sure enough, he complained that he had severe shoulder pain. He immediately was rushed to the hospital, and they gave him medication for the shoulder pain and fluids for severe dehydration.
That's when I was diagnosed of a bad heart, and that's when they talked me into retiring.
What we see with his heart, though, is the elasticity is not quite normal. That it doesn't expand as easily as we would expect the heart to do.
If I continue to box, this could be bad on my health. And I think the most important thing in life is life.
So the man whose heart had defined his career was forced by his heart to retire. But he wasn't finished.
A few weeks later, I went to a crusade, been a hand crusade. A lot of people come for healing, and I got a confirmation of that I was healed. And I claimed the healing.
Holyfield sought new examinations, which showed his condition had improved. Miraculous recovery, or had Holyfield been misdiagnosed?
The Nevada Commission said, okay, if you really think you're healed, we want you to be cleared medically by one of 3 independent hospitals. Evander chose the Mayo Clinic, and he went up there, and he was cleared. I don't think anybody in the medical or boxing community expected that was going to happen.
Although the Mayo Clinic cleared him, doctors offered this caution. It is advisable that the patient minimize dehydration whenever possible. Evander was given the green light, but the true test would come in the ring.
There's a right by Holyfield.
Will he take enough advantage? There was a good left hook.
And a left as well, and Holyfield clubs his way, and Mercer goes down.
When he fought Ray Mercer, I think that answered everybody's questions. He took one of the toughest heavyweights out there who is virtually impossible to knock out. So that proves he had to be in the right kind of shape. And I think it answered all questions. I don't think his heart was that big of a problem. I think I kind of agree with the misdiagnosis.
I think people do care about me more than a boxer. They care about me as a person. They would like for me to get out of this game and still have my faculties and still be loving and still being in good health. But what would make a person in their right mind think that I would just do something to injure myself?
With renewed confidence in his health, Holyfield continues on a mission many of us struggle to understand. After all, he's been heavyweight champion and earned more than $100 million.
but it's not where you're at, it's where you're going. I'm still pressing on towards the mark where I want to be. And to think about how bad do you really want it? And are you willing to pay the price that's necessary to get back to that point and above that point? And once you make that decision, then you go out and give your all again.
Many question what Holyfield has left. If history repeats, he'll need to push himself to the limit when he fights Bowe a third time.
Look at Holyfield. What a warrior. Reversing the tide of the battle. The champion now has Bowe wobbling.
And I think when you look at Riddick and myself, you know, it's 1-1. I truly feel that Riddick Bowe is the best opponent out there. I need to fight the best people because the best people bring the best out of me. When I get into this fight, the whole world would see the two best fighters out there, and the best will take it to another level.
Evander Holyfield still believes he has what it takes to regain the heavyweight championship. He dreams of being the only man besides Ali to hold the title 3 times. Outside the ring, questions about his heart won't stop. But once the fight begins, they will subside. No one has ever questioned his heart in the ring. It's what got him there to begin with.
Larry, as we saw in both of the first 2 fights, there's no mystery to what Evander Holyfield does in the ring. He works, and then he works some more. But what could he do different to throw off Riddick Bowe?
Well, in the first fight, he defied the recommendations of his handlers by going in and fighting a toe-to-toe war with a much bigger man. They wanted him to move in and out and side to side the way he fought other big fighters, George Foreman and Buster Douglas before that. In the second fight, he fought the fight he was supposed to fight in the first fight, and he won. So that we have to assume he's going to try to refine what he did in the second fight and see if he can win a tactical as well as a fierce battle.
Tactical questions are bound to emerge when 2 guys have already fought 24 rounds against each other and get ready to do it again. Then there are other questions beyond the tactical, the psychological. George, how is it different fighting a guy 3 times as opposed to once?
It's real spooky, boxing is. You start thinking, what, he knows something I don't know? Was it truly luck that I got past this? This gets kind of scary. And in reality, on the other end, you want to think to yourself, I'm going to make him say he'd never want to fight me again. So it works both ways. Spooky and kind of have a little pride to it also.
Of course, one of the oldest truisms in the sport is that you can't become a great boxer without having gone against great opponents. Great rivalries give us the memories that echoed down through the decades in this sport. There have only been a few like Bowe Holyfield.
The way it works is fighters have tremendous egos, and fighters have tremendous levels of confidence.
I've been hit a few times, but not as hard as Bowe hit me the first fight.
And when fighter A beats fighter B, the second time around fighter A might be a little overconfident. Fighter B is smart enough to make the adjustments and has more motivation. So fighter B in the second fight comes back and wins.
And the left hand for Holyfield. And they swing and swing after the bell. And look at this. Hey, these guys want to fight.
Anytime you heard Evander, he was coming right back at you. And it seemed like for me, for some reason, when you heard him, he got stronger. So I got to the point where I was really trying not to hit him too hard to make him angry.
And then very often it takes the third fight to determine, all things being equal, who the better fighter is.
Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe for the 3rd time. A modern-day rivalry renewed out of respect and admiration for one another. A trilogy that harkens back to some of boxing's classic rubber match fights. In a span of 4 months, from 1942 to 43, Sugar Ray Robinson and Jake LaMotta fought 3 times, all of them 10-round decisions. Robinson won the first, LaMotta the second. Sugar Ray's first defeat after 40 wins. 21 days later, Robinson won the rubber match.
No matter how many times we fought the same way. I chased him, I came in forward, 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 and he ran backwards and stopping and sparring with barrages, and then ran some more. And that's the way it was all the time.
The ultimate blood and guts trilogy of the 40s matched middleweights Tony Zale and Rocky Graziano. In the first fight, Zale, behind on points, KO'd Graziano in the 6th. Graziano produced an exact reversal in the second meeting, knocking Zale out in the 6th. Tony Zale would win the rubber match.
And it's really not a great fight. It's one-sided, and it's Zale for the first round, Zale for the second round, and Zale in the third round. And he takes out Graziano with a hook to the body and a left to the head. And you can still see Graziano dissembling as he goes down.
In 1948, Willie Pep, coming back from a near-fatal plane crash, was knocked out by Sandy Sadler in 4 rounds, losing his featherweight title. 4 months later, Pep won a masterful 15-round decision to set up the rubber match at Yankee Stadium in 1950.
Then the third and fourth time, he just overcame me. He was just too strong for me. And I was fading away slow but sure, you know, and that was it.
The fight of the century was a battle of undefeated champions. Pugilistic theater heightened when Frazier dropped Ali in the 15th round. That punch won him the fight. In their return bout, a non-title contest, Ali dominated from start to finish, almost stopping Frazier in the second round before the referee inadvertently halted the action. A prelude to the rubber match called the Thrilla in Manila.
To me, given stakes, given what that fight would mean to both fighters' histories and the history of the division, and given what happened in the ring, with the ebb and flow, with Ali on the verge of collapse, coming back to win, and of course the tremendous drama of the conclusion, Frazier not being allowed to come out of his corner for the 15th round, it had every single element that you could have to make it a great fight. And I think it was the greatest fight in boxing history.
I think in each of those epic battles, each guy wanted to be the best. He wanted to prove that he can take a shot, give a shot, and when the smoke cleared, he could win. And I think I could pretty much kind of feel that with Evander Holyfield.
This fight here will be a combination of a lot of things because we know each other very well because we have worked with each other in sparring and we have fought twice. And now in the third fight, you know, we have to be able to create something new that we may not expect from each other. So this fight would be very electrifying and somebody would get knocked out in this fight.
It is what boxing used to be about, the best fighting the best. Maybe it's the last glimmer for a while of what this sport's supposed to be because nothing seems to work in this sport.
Holyfield Bowe is a throwback to the old days, and it's rare. It's rare in the heavyweight division.
A right hand by Holyfield, and another. Round 10 continues after the bell.
When it's over, this rubber match, too, will be a part of boxing history.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, we're about to give you 100,000 of them. A unique way now of looking back, remembering, and feeling the inner memories of those first 2 great Bowe Holyfield fights. Can Evander Holyfield beat a heavyweight who is both younger and bigger than himself? That is what we're here to find out.
But sooner or later, a fight is going to break out here. It might be sooner.
Holyfield wobbles Bowe under the ropes. Left hook landed by Bowe after a right. Holyfield seemingly in trouble for the moment. Bowe throwing and throwing. Now goes to the body. Holyfield somehow standing up. And Holyfield weathers the storm and comes back throwing.
That jab is working good. He can't get off. This guy's dying out there, baby.
Use that jab and keep your left hand high.
And he lands the right hand. Everybody in the Thomas and Mack Center on their feet. It could be all over for Evander Holyfield's heavyweight championship reign. He is not fighting. On the back of the arena now, they begin to rise and applaud what has been an extraordinary battle between 2 men of heart and will and courage and skill.
The only sequels I can think of that live up to the originals were Ollie Fraser 3 and Godfather 2. But everybody is here hoping this fight can live up to the original. It's asking an awful lot.
And they swing after the bell. And there is blood above Bowe's left eye. And somebody in a parachute has just landed on the edge of the ring. The fight has been brought to a halt, a monstrosity of an interruption in the bout. And knocking Bowe's mouthpiece out with a left hook. Holyfield unprotected. He's hurt. You're right, George. Riddick's got a huge chance here, and he's going at it with everything he's got. Crowd rises to its feet. For the second year in a row, they fought the fight of the year. Well, they call him the real deal. Tonight, he was all of that.
Well, George Foreman, to completely oversimplify what happened in the first two fights, some might argue that Bowe outpunched Holyfield the first time around, and Holyfield outboxed Bowe the second time around. What do you expect to see in their third battle?
I think they're going to settle this thing once and for all. And the way you do that, someone is going to have to get knocked out. And I think we're going to see it this time.
So you think you'll see them toe-to-toe?
Toe-to-toe, and each looking for not just a victory on points, but a knockout.
Well, that's what Holyfield says is going to happen. I'm not so sure. I kind of think we might see another 12-round battle. Larry Merchant, what are you looking forward to?
Well, first, Jim, I regard the first round of this new fight as the 25th round of just one long, great fight. What I'm looking forward to is, can they do another 10th round? Everyone remembers the 10th round of their first fight. It's one of the defining moments of recent boxing history, in which Evander Holyfield proved in defeat that he was a great warrior and a great fighter. And Riddick Bowe showed us the stuff that he was made of. If they give us that kind of intensity, that kind of prize fighting, nothing else matters.
It's one of the glorious ironies of boxing that you can sometimes say that a man looks bigger in defeat than he ever did in victory. Certainly a lot of people would have said that about Holyfield after Bowe Holyfield won. Some would have said that about Riddick Bowe after their second battle. Can they both be heroic again on the evening of November 4? We certainly hope that many of you will choose to make the buy and tune in to see us pay-per-view that evening as we bring you live from ringside at Caesar's Palace, Evander Holyfield against Riddick Bowe for the third time.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports, the network of champions.